Fortnite Season 2 has added some incredibly overpowered items, vaulted some annoying weapons, and has added a Siphon Medallion, so here's everything you need to know. The new item, the Wings of Icarus, is basically the main mobility item that you have to carry this season. It just has an under 4% spawn rate from chests and a 0.52% spawn rate from floor, so it is quite rare. However, you can find it in the Olympus chests, which has a 55% spawn rate, so this is the easiest way to get them. These fire you straight up into the air, and it has a max ammo of 300, so this does not recharge, it will eventually run out, but you can actually carry multiple of them. Once you land, there's a 5-second cooldown time, so in all honesty, you can just keep using this and just keep running away from people over and over. Watch out, because if you run out of energy, you will slow glide, and it's much easier to hit you here, so you could basically die very easy. But there is a right-click option, which will give you a dive that you can do down below, and this will destroy any box that you land on, basically any build. I'm not tested it on metal yet, but it'll destroy a brick box that you land on, so if you're actually quite high up, the fastest way to get down is actually just to dive bomb. The second new item is the Thunderbolt of Zeus, which is a bit rarer in spawn rates, but also has a higher spawn rate from the Olympus chest, and is incredibly busted. It has 3 charges and actually does damage through builds, which I've seen a lot of people be frustrated about on Twitter already. It has a max distance of around 150 meters. Now, if you use this against a fully built metal box, it will destroy it in 2, and then at the third hit that it does will also just go through. So this thing is incredibly busted and very annoying. Good luck in tournaments. Although, let's be real, this looks sick. Third new item is the Gatekeeper Shotgun. This is kind of like a tactical shotgun, but it only has 3 bullets in the magazine, but it does have very fast reload. Now, the structure damage is also very high, so you could use this to wall replace, but again, the limited magazine size is pretty low. The mythic version has a 97 body shot damage and 146 to the head, so it's really strong. So I would see this being really good for endgame, and in particular in laggy lobbies. The fourth new item is the Warforged Assault Rifle, which is very similar to the Striker Assault Rifle, but nerfed by about 10 damage per second. So essentially it does 2 damage more per bullet. However, the fire rate is a little bit slower. So it's still really, really good, but a little bit more balanced than the Striker Assault Rifle was last season. The second last one is the Harbinger SMG, which feels like a bit of a buffed hyper SMG. Feels pretty balanced in my eyes so far. And the last one is the Huntress DMR, which I think is really, really strong. So it has almost no bullet drop at long ranges, so you can be much more accurate. And the blue one, for example, has 64 damage per shot, which is so nuts. In particular, when we remember it has a 1.75 times headshot multiplier. So the blue one does 112 to the head, which is insane. Now, the fire rate of this is at 1.5, which is basically, if you think about it, the same as a tactical shotgun. So the chances of you hitting 2 shots in a row are pretty limited, but if you hit 1 bullet with this, it does massive damage. So this is going to be huge for Surge. The returning weapons are the Hammer Pump, Frenzy Auto Shotgun, Nemesis AR, Thunderburst SMG, Reaper Sniper Rifle, and the Ranger Pistol. So yet, snipers are still in this season. And here's a big list of all of the things that are vaulted. I mean, there's a couple big ones, in particular the Ballistic Shield. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be happy about. Of course, the map has also changed massively too. There is 2 new biomes. So starting in the top left biome, now all of the new POIs have a boss that you can fight, so that's 4 total, which will give you mythics in there as well. So in Grimgales, you can fight Cerberus by activating this little statue. Once you defeat his minions and him, you'll get the mythic Gatekeeper Shotgun, which is the one I talked about earlier that has a ton of power. And he also drops a medallion, which gives you a 0-point dash. Now, this is only a single one, and I think it's every like 10 seconds it recharges. This is incredibly good for W keying because you can just keep phasing into everyone's box. So highly aggressive teams will definitely land here. In the Underworld, you can fight Hades, and once you beat him, you can get his mythic Harbinger SMG and a medallion that gives you Siphon. So yes, 50 Siphon for every single elim, so also very good. And it's also to be noted that around these 2 new POIs and in this new biome, there's kind of swamp water, and once you jump in here, it gives you 3 dashes, which you can see by the little skulls floating around you. Now in Mount Olympus, you can fight Zeus, which will give you the mythic Huntress DMR, which is super busted, so definitely look to land here. And it'll give you the aspect of speed medallion, so every time you're sprinting and jumping, it'll essentially make you sprint faster, it'll make you jump a little higher, and it'll get rid of your fall damage too. Now, it's a huge statue and a massive bit on height, which may make you think this is really broken for Surge. However, there's some clouds down below which will block your vision. In Brawler's Battleground, finally, you can fight Aries, who can give you the mythic Warforged Assault Rifle, which is the strongest assault rifle in the game, but his medallion also gives you a roughly 5% damage buff to every single weapon. So very, very powerful. There are also some supply drop spawners. I don't have a full map for this yet because it's not seems to be on Fortnite.gg, but in some little spawn areas, you can get yourself a supply drop that'll come down. You can shoot it out, and this is really good for getting you some wings and additional heals. At the end of the second zone, these new weapon bunkers will appear, and there's 3 blue chests in here, the rare chests, which have a massive chance of giving you kind of purple and gold weapons. There's also 5 weapon spawners on the walls, the mod benches, and around 400 gold that you can just instantly break with some cones as well. So definitely worth going for at the end of the second zone. There's 2 new mods, which are the thermal scope, which as suggests is a thermal scope, and a speed group, which allows you to walk faster while ADSing. Definitely could use this on shotguns and snipers, but having laser is still probably better on a lot of your SMGs.